I usually am very serious, and I'm going to get serious in a minute, but I have just a couple really quick stories. I have a Hazel Dukes story also. I was taking a picture with Hazel Dukes. People who know me know that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't use drugs. I'm a very boring person. But I was taking a picture with a glass of punch in my hand. And she said, "Put that down." And I said, "It's just punch." She said, "Put it down." I said, "Well, it's not alcohol." And she said, "Don't take a picture with a glass in your hand, because someone who doesn't like you or who wants to trap you will see that picture, and you cannot prove that that's not liquor in there." And that's so valuable. It was the most valuable lesson I ever learned about taking pictures casually. So when I take a picture now, if I have a drink or whatever, I put it behind my back or I put it down. Because there's so many people that hate us, and malicious people that want to say, "Oh, well, she's a drunk, she doesn't know what she means." Because again, how can you prove what was in the glass in the picture? That was Miss Hazel Dukes, and yes, good black don't crack, sister. I usually just like to talk off the cuff, but I want to keep this brief, and I tend to run around all over the place if I'm let loose. I want to start out by giving a shout out to the ladies of Cafe Mocha for recognizing black media. Thank you very much. You know why? Because if you know more about what's going on in Ukraine and the Gaza Strip than you know what's going on in Washington, D.C., Texas, and North Carolina, you are ill-informed, and you are probably in danger. It is important that people know what's going on in this country, especially our people. You need to know that the MAGA bunch want to roll us back to a time when any white man or woman, no matter how stupid or low in the totem pole, can demand anything from a black person or a black child. What are you doing here? Do you live here? Why are you here? That's where they want to take it back, because that's when they think America was great. Some subscribing to this new thing called the 7 Mountains Mandate. Did anybody ever hear about that? They got a lot of undercover stone on it, but if you heard my news, you heard about it. The 7 Mountains Mandate is a form of Christian extremism. You know this nation was supposedly founded on a separation of church and state. They wanted to be under the church, like the Ayatollah Khomeini did in Iran. They want it, and they want to attain powerful positions in 7 areas. That's why it's called the 7 Mountains Mandate. Family, religion, government, education, media, arts and entertainment, and commerce. That's about everything, ain't it? In fact, some of the leaders of the January 6th insurrection ascribe to this stupidity. And also some rappers, anybody with a podcast, and some brown people need to stop diluting themselves into thinking that they really have a choice in this upcoming election. Because you don't. Because you don't. Donald Trump is talking about how the blood of America is being poisoned. Only English can be spoken in the United States. And when he talks about sealing the border, you know he's not talking about Canada. A new Texas bill would allow illegal immigrants to be shot and killed if they're found trespassing on ranch land. That was just like a couple of weeks ago. They have a similar bill pending in Georgia. And in these Republican-dominated legislatures, they can get this stuff passed. People who are familiar with my work, they know that I try to slip in a truth or two whenever I can, accidentally or purpose. But it's important that you all know that nothing that I say or produce or say anything on the air wouldn't be allowed. I mean, I'd be getting fired all the time, let's say it that way, if I didn't work for an extremely intelligent and incredibly community-minded program director, Miss Cynthia Smith, and I want you to give it up for Miss Cynthia Smith, please. She allows me to go nuts. She pushes me, says, "No, go ahead," and I do. You're not scared after I do it. Anyway, okay. Basically, in concluding, I love TV and movies. They are my drugs of choice. I'll know every movie and every TV. I just love stuff. And one of the final words in the Tyler Perry movie, Why Did I Get Married, is this: the best thing that you can do in your lifetime is to love God, love yourself, and love others. Well, I do love God. I try to love myself, but sometimes I'm not all that lovable. But I humbly love all of you and thank again the beautiful, brilliant, and community-conscious ladies of Cafe Mocha, comedian Loni Love, broadcaster Angelique Perrin, hip-hop icon, commentator, and actress Yo-Yo, and executive producer Sheila Eldridge. We are in a war. It is really a class war, but we are the whipping boys. We're in the middle. It's a class war between educated white people and white people who don't want to get educated. They just want to be white. Back in the old days when just being white was enough to get anything. That's what the war really is about. We're just caught in the middle between educated whites and blacks and uneducated white folks. But remember, if there was a gene for tough, we'd all be cousins. So we need to fight like we're family. And don't forget the ultimate truth expressed by Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. If you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu. I'm gonna say it again. If you do not have a seat at the table, you are probably on the menu. This year we have to vote like our lives depend on it, because they do. We are faced with voting for the lesser of two evils. That is nothing new for black folks. Because until Barack Obama ran for president, we always had to vote for the lesser of two evils. What's the difference with that? What's the big deal? Any person of color who feels that they have a choice, tell them to go to the voting booth, look at the choices, and grow up. Thank you.